supporting my channel. Today I have a very interesting topic that I want us to talk about. Let's share our thought about this issue. Actually, it's about a lady who went out with a gentleman he met, and then they decided to go on a date. But the gentleman was like, I'm not that hungry, so let's go pick something simple that we can quickly, chew. So they agreed. They got into an eatery nearby, a restaurant nearby, and then they ordered those quickie foods. So I think the gentleman ordered something like a coffee, milk, combined drink, and the lady ordered something like a donut. Right. Whilst the orders were served, the waitress asked for the asked them to pay the bill. But immediately the waitress got closer to the lady as to got closer to the lady and the gentleman as to them settling the bill. The gentleman quickly had a call and how to be on the call. The lady, being smart enough, realized that it is not nice for the waitress to be standing there until the gentleman completes his call. So quickly, the lady decided to pay because the call was actually taking a long time, and the lady thought it was not appropriate. So this is a gentleman who said he's not hungry, blah 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 blah. Now, so the lady paid for the cost of both the coffee drink and her donut. As after paying and the waitress turning back to the counter, the gentleman pretended as if he has done with his call, and then pull his long hands, break part of the lady's donut. A very huge part of the donut. And this is someone who had claimed he doesn't actually have that urge to eat. Okay, Jay said, hi, Jay. This is someone who said he doesn't have the zeal to eat. He's not that much hungry. But now you go to sit down to grab just some chewables, and now, hi Jay, I hope you're doing good. Hi Jay, I hope you're doing good. So now they go down, they go to grab this particular quickie food, and now you pretend when there's time for you to pay for the bill, you are pretending as if you've gotten a call from heaven or somewhere else, and then now the lady has to pay for both. I said, what are you doing? I'm giving you a story about a lady and a gentleman who basically met, decided to go out, but on the set date of the date, the gentleman was like, I'm not hungry, so let's just not go into any big restaurant. Let's find somewhere to eat something quick. So they jump into a snack bar nearby. The gentleman took some coffee, and then the lady took some donuts. But I think in that particular restaurant or bar, when they serve, basically you have to pay the bill as and when they serve. So when they served, the waitress was expecting the gentleman to pay. But the gentleman all of a sudden got a call that dragged him for a while. And whilst it was dragging the gentleman, the call was just dragging the gentleman. The lady decided that now, okay, I'm going to pay for the bill, because normally in certain cultures the guy pays for his own, the lady pays for her own. But this time She decided to pay for paying. The gentleman quickly ended his call, pulled his long arm, and then grabbed a portion of the lady's donut. Right. So now the issue here is quite simple. You said you are not hungry. You should just go grab something. I mean, grab something quick to eat. Now, you made justice to your coffee. Now, as a matter of fact, as soon as you ended the call, you grabbed the lady's donut. So the lady was a bit not okay with the whole dating because the gentleman decided just to, from the lady's point of view, maybe she thought the gentleman decided to just fake a call just to swerve or just not to pay for the bill. Now, the lady is requesting the gentleman to pay the cost of his drink, not the cost of both of them. The lady is a bit broke, and according to the story on social media, the gentleman is a bit wealthy. So the lady feels a bit humiliated because she was expecting the gentleman to foot his bill, so she also foot his bill. But all of a sudden, the gentleman got a call and had to abandon the bill. So now what the lady is saying is that refund my money back to me. That is for what you took, the coffee that you took. For mine, I have paid for myself, and I don't think that one is a big deal. See, but the lady feels a bit humiliated. So he feels like asking him to pay him back, to pay her back her money, at least for the coffee. In fact, the gentleman didn't even share the coffee with the lady, but the gentleman was able to grab part of the lady's donut. This is the issue on board right now. If you just joining me, that is the issue we are discussing. Leave a comment, share your thoughts on this topic. Let me know what you think about this topic. And let me know you think it is wise enough or it is the best decision that the lady has taken, that as long as the gentleman refused and pretended as if he's gotten the call and did not pay for the bill, and she paid for both bills. And also, as a matter of fact, the gentleman is richer and wealthier, she is broke. And also is that the gentleman just pull his long arm to break part of a donut as well. So this is one story that has actually hit social media and people are talking about. But it's quite interesting to get to understand this. In certain cultures, even if the waitress would have to stand for 6 hours, the partner doesn't mind. The lady can just decide to sit down and wait for the guy to pay. But I think what the guy did was not the best. I don't know whether maybe he was just pulling up a test on the guy. Because you can just go out with someone and then when it's time for bill payment, you fake a call and try to pose as if you've got a call from some important call from somewhere that is dragging you throughout the whole. For me, I think the lady too should also get to understand that if a person shows up such a behavior, he might be also testing you, right? He might be also testing you because there has always been this, there's a name for it, first impression. So maybe the gentleman was also trying to test the first impression, your first impression as well, as a matter of fact. So this could be the issue why, or the reason why maybe the gentleman decided to prank that call. But the lady thinks she's been ghosted and she doesn't really don't want to let it go. She has to take at least for the cost of the coffee that she paid for. What are some of the things, or what do you think about this? And what are some of the things in your opinion, you think if you were the lady, you're going to do? Are you going to take your money back or just say end of the road or end of the game? That is the issue. So now the whole issue has become one of what should the lady take her money back or not? That is what is really happening. And this is really, I think, one of the latest dating techniques. They call it ghosting, right? So, ghosting in relationship. You think if you go out with a lady or a guy, and then it's time to pay for the it's time to pay for the bills, right? You would fake a phone call so that the other partner pays. You think it's wise enough to do that? Because for me, I think the lady should just forget about the whole issue. Should just forget about the whole issue. If you think you have been ghosted, then forget about it. See, people should understand ghosting in relationship. Fine, if probably the lady also wants to reply her back, she shouldn't even reply to the gentleman's messages. So give the gentleman that empty feeling so that she also ghosts the gentleman back. So that the gentleman also gets confused. You see, ghosting is quite simple. You don't need to use any words like give me my money, pay me the money that I paid for the dates. Because you're supposed to pay for your order, I was supposed to pay for my order, and then you fake a call, and in order not to embarrass the waitress, I, as a matter of fact, paid for you and myself. And the question here is quite simple. The lady thinks she's been ghosted, right? But she still wants a refund. But the point is that this is just beyond online dating. This is face-to-face dating. You met the lady. As a matter of fact, you met the gentleman. As a matter of fact, you decided to go out with the gentleman, and this has happened. So let's call it. Bye bye. That is all. So why do people ghost in relationship? There are a lot of situational factors. Maybe the reason why the gentleman did that. Maybe the gentleman thought of like maybe he cannot move on with the lady anymore. So he has to do something provocative to prevent the lady from connecting back to him. Maybe he's busy with his work and he needs to focus on his timing. Maybe work stress will not give him the chance to be going on a regular date with the lady. And maybe he may even like the energy for talks, right? So I think this is not something that a lady should continue to pursue as to, I want my money back because I paid for your drink and then mine, and I was expecting you to pay for yours, but you pretended as if you've gotten a call and all that. So that is it. What do you think will be the consequences of this on the lady? So I think the lady will now have lost trust in the guy for not paying for the date. Right. So I think the lady has lost some kind of trust in the gentleman. I'm sure the lady has also learned a lesson. Of course, I think maybe in the near future or in the next coming dating, she's going to be very well prepared when it comes to that issue. But from the point of view, do you think the lady is being ghosted? If probably the guy could be that bold enough, the guy could, as a matter of fact, fake a call the moment the bill came for him to settle, right? So I think the lady too should also get to know that these are some of the early signs that the gentleman is not the right person for her, right? Because it is even not that's normal after the lady paid for the bill on the table. Then the gentleman stretches his long arm and then break part of the lady's donut and ate. You didn't pay for the date one, right? For your own drink you ordered. You fake a call. Now the lady have to pay for both of you. When she paid for both of you, now you have decided that you even go and even take part of the lady's donut that she bought. I mean, this is something else. So I think this is some of the early warning signs the lady should get to know that the gentleman is not someone for her. These are some of the immediate steps for me. I think the lady should just do. She should just breathe deep. You shouldn't just spam messages and continue to press the gentleman that he wants at least the guy to pay for his drink so that he also take the cost of her paying for her own donut and all that. Right. So I think it is important. Now the lady could also go down and list out what has happened and learn the lesson from it. I think it's good to go into groom her just to get to understand people that she meets along the way. I think she should also discuss the issue with her friends that she met a guy. This is a guy who said he's not hungry, she doesn't want to eat anything. They decided to go out. The lady on the gentleman on the date said they should get something chewable, something easy to snack on. The gentleman took coffee, the lady took donut. When it came for the time for them to pay the bill, this is what happened. The gentleman faked a call and she has to pay for both of them. So I think immediate steps, the lady should take these immediate steps to sort of like get over it. Talk to friends to get their perspective. If necessary, you should just even block the guy. You shouldn't even go, asking. I know the lady is a bit broke. The gentleman has something, is a bit resourceful. Gentleman's a bit resourceful, right? But I think the lady can just block the guy to protect her own peace. She can just wait for a week to see if the gentleman would basically reach out, maybe to apologize or something. So you should just move on. It is better that she just move on instead of her requesting for the guy to pay back her cost, his cost, the guy's cost, as the cost of the coffee the guy took. For her donut, she's taking the cost. So he just keep boundaries away from the guy. Never chase and pass twice. No. Move on when silence speaks, and then focus on yourself. New doors will open. I think this is what the lady should basically be. Be doing. If you just join my live stream, kindly leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this story. Let me know what you think of going out with a guy who claims he's not hungry. That you should go and just get some quickie snacks. And going to get the quickie snacks. Now, when it came to bill payment, he decided that he was going to fake a call so that the lady pays for the bill. This is a lady who is broke, according to the story. She's damn broke and doesn't have enough, right? And as a matter of fact, the gentleman has, a bit of cash. So the lady thinks she's been ghosted, right? She thinks she's been ghosted by the guy. And so the coffee that the gentleman ordered, that she paid for, the gentleman should just refund. the money. It's as simple as ABCD. Refund my money or issues. So that is it. For her donut that she bought, I think that's her own order, so she can cater for that. But she feels a bit embarrassed and humiliated on the side of the guy, as a matter of fact, because after the lady paid for the bill, you intentionally decided to end the call and then stretch your long arm and then break part of the donut, right? So now I think it is better for the lady to also move forward. Like I said, you should look inward. You should also ensure that he ends up with the guy respectfully. This is nothing so big. That coffee is not any huge cost, even though the girl is broke, according to the story. So you should just clear off his mind. And also, maybe she also needs to sit back and also analyze things by choosing timing wisely, right? So, for example, if you want to go out with someone and then you say, well, I'm not hungry, so let's go grab something. If I were the lady, I would even tell her I'm not even taking in anything. So that one, you go, you grab your own thing, and then you ghost your own self. Now, when we get there, I will not even be the one who will make the order. I'll tell you he's the one making the order, right? So the lady should end this thing in a much positive way as much as possible. Though she had spent the little money that she has on the gentleman's coffee, right, together with her donut, which I think has eaten a bit deep into her budget. But what matters is a cup of coffee. If the gentleman really wants to ghost her, then I think the gentleman didn't do well at all. It is really not the best. In certain cultures, you even be made to pay for both. You are lucky to find yourself in a culture whereby the lady has to pay her own and you also pay yours. So for me, I think the gentleman has actually not been, upright when it comes to this very story. I was expecting the gentleman maybe to even apologize after the call. Oh, I had a call. And, oh, you paid for it. I had a call. That is why I couldn't. Blah, blah, blah. At least just let the lady know, have some impression about you. But you just heeded to just, humiliate the lady. I think the lady feels humiliated because you can't take someone out. And when it's time to pay for bills, you pretend as if you have gotten a call from somewhere else. So I think for me, if you ask me, I would say the guy didn't do well. Leave a comment in the comment section. We are live on my channel and it's happening live. I think the lady should stop requesting for the amount she paid for the gentleman's coffee. The gentleman's coffee has already been consumed. She has paid for it. Maybe she is being tried and not being ghosted. Maybe it's a direction, right? That the lady should look elsewhere. So, daily motivation is hi, daily motivation, welcome. Yes, this is what we are discussing, daily motivation. The lady that basically met a gentleman and they decided to go on a date. But on the right time of the date, the gentleman said he is not hungry. So they should then go to some snack bar and grab something easy to eat. So they got themselves into a snack bar. The gentleman ordered for coffee, and then the lady ordered for donuts. Now, whilst they were served, the waitress requested for the bill. So But the moment the gentleman realized that it's time for them to pay for the bill, he quickly faked a call. Right? He faked a call, and then the waitress got standing. So the lady thought as much that maybe the call will drag the gentleman so far, and the waitress can't be standing there. So she decided to pay for both bills. That is for the coffee that the gentleman took, and then the donut that the lady took. Now, immediately after the waitress took the bill and left, the gentleman ended the call, stretched his long arm, broke part of the lady's donut, and then enjoy. I mean, a very significant portion of the donut. The lady felt embarrassed because she doesn't see why the gentleman should behave that way. Each and every man was supposed to pay for his or her order, right? So the lady feels humiliated and feels embarrassed and thinks he has been ghosted by the man. So she is now requesting for a refund. Give me the money that I paid for your coffee. For the one that I paid for my donut, I am keeping that one to myself. That is what the lady is requesting for. So if you just join in, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you think the lady is right to request for her money concerning the coffee that the gentleman took? And do you think the lady, or do you think the lady should just cut everything short? If she thinks she's been ghosted, then she should just, let it go and then say bye-bye to the gentleman. You also think that the gentleman did not do well at all. The whole issue or the whole incident that happened was just bad and as bad as any other thing. For a gentleman to behave ungentlemanly by not, as a matter of fact, paying part of the bill and faking a call. And do you think the gentleman faked a call or the call was a genuine call? There are issues here. Yes, there are issues here. But I think if I were the one that gotten the call, right, what I would have done is quite simple. I would have just asked the person that I'm talking to hold on. Then I pay the bill. In certain cultures, you have to pay for both bills. You are lucky that you have find yourself in a culture where everybody pays for his bill. So we are saying that all we are discussing is that the lady's request, right, is just something that we think we should basically be discussing. Should the lady, as a matter of fact, request her money? Is it justified? Some people also believe that, or some school of thought believe that the gentleman is not for the lady. The lady should just walk on, forget about the guy. Once she has humiliated her on a date by refusing to pay the bill or his bill, it is something that he should see as an early warning sign as to the kind of person the gentleman is. Right. From the story, the gentleman is a bit rich. He has a bit of a thick wallet as compared to the lady. Right. But the lady feels humiliated in the sense that you are the very person who said you are not hungry. You said you are not hungry. So now why are you grabbing the lady's donuts? You are done with your coffee. And after you are done with your coffee, now you just stretch your long arm and then grab the lady's donut in addition. So it is a bit humiliating. A bit humiliating because the lady's point is that you said you are not hungry. right? Now you stretch your hand and then break part of my donut. You refuse to pay the bill on the table. You see, I think the lady should just not continue to interact with the guy. Enough is enough. The lady should forget about the cost, despite the fact that she's broke. You see, the lady is broke, but being broke shouldn't let her go down to that level asking for, I mean, refund. Right. Maybe the money is a bit of a large money to the lady because from the story, the lady is not that well endowed financially as compared to the gentleman. Some other school of thought also believe that maybe the gentleman is just testing the pulse of the lady, right? He's just testing the pulse of the lady, maybe to see whether maybe or to just maybe to do some gold digger prank, maybe to do some gold digger prank on the lady. People have lambasted the gentleman on social media. Somebody even has even suggested that he would have saved the receipt and then email it to the gentleman for him to pay. But I think some also believe that the lady shouldn't just say a word. You just move on. Forget about the guy. Bank is called. This was a very bad dream or a very bad dilemma that the lady found herself into, right? Because in those cultures, you have to pay for your bill. I also pay for my bill. But you fake a call, right? You fake a call just to swerve the bill payment so that I pay. And then you come back and grab part of my food. Someone who claim you are not hungry. Someone who claim you are not hungry. Said he isn't hungry. But somebody also is also of the view that the gentleman might be broke because he said he was not hungry. It simply means that the gentleman might be broke. That is why he said he's not hungry. He hasn't got money in his wallet to spend. That is why he told the lady he's not hungry. He should only go grab some, quick to eat snacks. For snacks, he knows the lady can sort it out. Unlike, a full meal. But I think in all things, the guy has not been a gentleman enough, I must say. So people are saying the lady should just let it go. So now, just let the lady go. Let the gentleman go. We don't want to see him again. Walk on. There are many men out there that you can meet. I think that the lady is much more concerned about the humiliation and not letting the gentleman go, right? So I think she is a bit upset with that because when you go out and then pay the culture, everyone has to pay. The bills should be split exactly at the time the order came. One shouldn't swerve. Right. Some people also believe that the gentleman was just trying to prank, like I said, maybe, or even test the lady, as in a gold digger test. Because I'm not sure a gentleman of that nature caliber will go up to the lady, and then when it's time to pay for the bills, he fakes a phone call, and then the lady who is so lady enough and so very caring realizes that the Waitress shouldn't be standing there embarrassed because the call is dragging the gentleman so far. The lady could have paid for hers. That's the culture in from where they live. The lady have to pay for hers. The gentleman pays for his own as well. So now the issue is that if a lady has been that lady of that caliber and had paid, I think the gentleman should have even appreciated it more, thank the lady, and then maybe probably knowing very well that the lady is broke. But according to the story, you would not get to know whether a gentleman knows the lady is broke. But I think if the lady is broke and the gentleman is not aware, then the lady made a mistake. The lady should have made it clear to the gentleman that she is on a low budget. This would have, as a matter of fact, alerted the guy. You see, so there are a lot of mixed reactions about this whole issue. But some people think the gentleman has no sense of courtesy for going out with the lady, and when there's time for bill payment, you fake a call for the lady to pay. Right. Some people also believe that if the gentleman was courteous enough, you should have asked the lady, "Okay, you pay. I'm gonna sort it out." Or you can even signal the lady if you are on an important call. You can signal the lady that you should just settle it. That when the lady knows that you have asked her to settle it. But the lady did this to avoid embarrassment. That was the whole issue. She did this to avoid embarrassment. And that was all, nothing more, nothing less. Right? So let me see your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, guys. So some people think that at least the gentleman stretching his fingers to break part of the lady's donut was not a bad thing. But the very bad aspect of it is that the gentleman didn't pay for what he basically ordered for. And that is what people are much concerned and talking about. Some people believe that the lady should not worry about what has happened. Going out with the guy, and then when it's time for the guy to pay for the bill, he fakes a call. And as a matter of fact, you have to pay to avoid embarrassment. She should just see it as a lesson. She had paid for a lesson. And I think this will guide her choice as to picking the next date. That's what some people think the lady should look at the whole thing from. I think the lady also made a mistake by not telling the waitress that I am paying for my own. He's going to pay for his. I think if it were to be some other person, should have done that. But most women naturally are courteous. They wouldn't want embarrassment. So I think the lady should have paid for hers and then inform the waitress that, Madam Waitress, you would have to take the cost of the coffee from the gentleman. He's on a call as soon as he's finished with the call. So that's another issue. You see, it is a bit funny too, because people think the way and manner the gentleman is being criticized is too far because of the issue of equality, gender equality. But I think if you said you are not hungry, but yet you want to go out on a date with me, and then we'll buy something of a very lower priced date, right? If you go on a lower price date I don't see why you should swerve a lower price date. What if you wanted? What if you had the date in a much more expensive restaurant or a place where you have to pay more? Right. So this issue has got netizens talking about, and this evening I decided to share this with you. I've not been able to go on the street to do more of the street videos because of the weather. So now, what do you think? Should the lady forget about the fact that she paid for the date, or you think the gentleman has to refund and apologize? Or you think the gentleman shouldn't even mind the lady at all because they both went out on a date and then the lady paid for the bill because he was on a phone call and he couldn't pay for the bill? People think the lady is better off learning an experience, right? I also think maybe the gentleman was running maybe a test on the lady, a gold digger test, just to see the kind of personality the lady is. So there's a lot of mixed reaction here. In fact, some people had even said that the gentleman shouldn't pay. Because the lady should get to know that if the gentleman had pranked the call, then you know that he wasn't ready to pay for your bill. So I think the lady should forget for me, but the gentleman for me should also get to understand that what he did has really humiliated the lady. The lady is very well humiliated, very much humiliated, and some apologies need to go down to the lady as well. Gentleman needs to apologize to the lady that I'm sorry for what happened. Maybe if the gentleman was not having money, is this the time to break the news to the lady that I'm not having money or I wasn't having money. That is why I couldn't pay and I faked the call. This would have been an easier way of, turning that kind of issue into something manageable. You see, that money is not big, but maybe the lady feels she has been humiliated, right? No, irrespective of the price of the date or the cost of the date, I think the lady requires an apology from the gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, leave your comments in the live chat section. Chat with me. I want you to chat with me. Let's get to understand your point. Let's get to know what you think. For me, the gentleman should apologize and, if possible, pay the cost of both just for apology purposes. Right. So guys, this is the story that I shared with you today. Any more comments coming? No comments coming again? I want to see your comments. I want to see your comment. Right, so I think there are no more people coming. But let me ask this question. Do you think you'll be able to do this? Go out on a date with a lady. In the presence of the lady, you are not hungry. Right? And then you suggest or there's that suggestion that you find some snack bar to snack on, some quick snacks. And then when you find a snack bar where you want to have the snack, Well, the snacks were served. Maybe you took coffee, the lady took some donuts. When it was time to pay for the bill, you faked a call or you had a call. It could be a fake call or an original call. The story basically doesn't make it clear that the gentleman faked the call, but he he got a call, right? He got a call. So the lady will have to bear the cost of the date, right? The gentleman, the moment he realized the lady has paid for the cost, call ended, stretched his long arm, that's a matter of fact, break part of the lady's donut. Someone who says you are not hungry. Now you take your coffee and then stretch your hands and break part of the lady's donut. The most interesting part is that you also didn't even pay for the bill as well, making the lady feel humiliated. I think the lady has every reason to request for the money. But I also think that the lady should just move on. What do you think? What is your take on this? Should the lady move on, or he should continue to pressurize the guy for her money back, pay me back the cost of the date? But I think some other people also believe that the gentleman is putting the lady on a litmus test, in quotes, or maybe probably running, let's say, a gold digger test on the lady to see how the lady will react. Maybe you want to know the lady's temperament and whether the lady can be a good partner. But I think for the lady, for her, she should be able to see the writing on the wall straight ahead. This is the type of guy that you want to go on a date with. He can decide not to pay for the bill, then you pay. Or maybe he can, when he's on a call, he doesn't pay bills when he's on the call. So you have to pay for the bills anytime you go on a date and he gets a call, right? So I think the lady have to learn a lesson from this, and I think this should be something that you should equip her to face new guys as and when she goes on to date new people, right? So that's what this is what netizens are saying about this whole issue. A bit interesting, a bit discussive, and a bit confusing, because that money, the cost of the coffee and the donut that the lady paid for, I'm not sure it's that high. But the lady claims she is broke, and she believes that the gentleman has, a bigger wallet, or come from a home where, there is something small. But on the whole, the lady deserves, to be clapped for. She's really a courteous lady. Even on her last penny, she avoided disgrace, she avoided embarrassment, and paid for the bill. And even open up to the guy, for the guy to even break part of his donut. This is fantastic. I think the lady has done extraordinary. She should just forget about the fact that she wants to take her money back. Taking her money back could have been a good idea, but you should just cut links with a gentleman. If you ask me what the lady should do, you should just cut links with a gentleman and move forward. Taking your money back for the cost of the coffee he ordered, I think, will still give you that connection with such a person. And people are suggesting that you break away from the guy because he allegedly humiliated you, right? He allegedly humiliated you. And so you have to just cut links, because the more you ask for your money back because you paid for the date and he pranked, or a call, supposedly allegedly pranked a call, right? No one knows whether it was a prank call that the guy did, pretending as if he has gotten a call, or it was a true call that the guy had, right? No one can tell according to the story. But if so be it, I think this shouldn't be an issue. But some people also believe that the lady shouldn't have just even asked for. The lady should just schedule another outing or another date with the guy to see whether the guy will do same. Someone even is of the view that when the lady was paying for the bill, she should have just told the waitress that she's paying for hers. The gentleman will pay for his. That's why most people think that the lady doesn't need to worry herself to take her money back, but should take it as a lesson to prepare her and to build her. But on the whole, the lady deserves thumbs up. She's done well. She's been very courteous, right? So, guys, without much ado, there are no more chats and comments coming. The story keeps going on. Keep watching, keep discussing, and leave a comment even when we go off the live session. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Bye bye.